Hi guys, Michael Weldon here. Welcome back to another Living Free From recipe. Today it's all about cooking on the barbecue, which is by far my favourite way to cook, especially in summer when Australia warms up and it's perfect time to be outside. I'm going to show you one of my favourite things to cook on the barbecue, which is fish. I think people find that a little bit daunting. It can be a bit scary, but if you follow my quick tips today, you'll be cooking fish on your barbecue at home perfectly in no time. We're going to pair that with a Thai dressing, sweet, sour lemongrass dressing. We're going to take out the shallots and the garlic because this is a FODMAP friendly dressing. I think usually people think of Thai food and think of a really shallot and garlic heavy base, therefore not at all friendly for anyone who eats a FODMAP diet. But what we're going to do is use the other really flavorful ingredients in Thai cooking to make a really flavorful sauce that will step up and go perfectly with our barbecued fish. So the first thing we need to do is make that sauce. The first thing we need to do for our sauce is just chuck a little bit of olive oil into a pot. Now I'm doing this on the barbecue because I want to cook it outside, but if you want to prep this at home, inside, then you can easily do it on a burner. Keep the sauce warm and serve it with your fish because it can be a bit hard to cook in a little pot over charcoal. But I'm going to get it done because it looks great out here and it'll get a little bit of smoky flavour in the dressing. So in the pot we've got our ginger and a bit of olive oil and we're just frying that off to soften it. We want to be on a medium-high heat so we don't burn the ginger. You kind of want to cook it without any colour. And to that we're going to add some brown sugar and some fish sauce. We're going to add lots of fish sauce here. Going to go like a quarter of a cup. I really like fish sauce. If you don't like it as much, you can leave it out. You can always just use salt as well, but I think it gives it a really nice umami flavour to the dish. And now for the lemongrass, the hero of our dressing. When I prepare lemongrass, I always use the back of my knife, give it a bit of a beat and start bruising it. And then with the heel of my knife, I just try and slice it as thinly as possible. Nice little thin slithers of lemongrass will add a really bright, lemony citrus flavour to our sauce. And this is one of the two elements that give us that real sour flavour in our sauce. Straight in. And what we're going to do now is cook this nice and slowly, almost poach all these aromats to get their flavour out. We don't want to cook them too high. We just want them to infuse their flavour into our dressing. Every time we add a new aromat in, we'll give it a little stir. And now I'm going to go in with a bit of kaffir lime. So kaffir lime leaf, for me it's one of the great flavours of Thailand. If you give it a scrunch and smell it, it smells of a really nice deep lime flavour. It's one of the key ingredients in things like green chicken curry, so you've probably had it without even knowing it. And all I'm going to do with this is similar to the lemongrass, just slice into nice thin little strips like so. When you're doing this, slow and steady wins the race. You want to make sure you don't cut it too chunky. And then when you get to the center part, or where the leaf attaches to the tree, just spin it around and do the other side. You should be left with a little stem part of your leaf. If that doesn't go in, back into our dressing with our kaffir lime. And again, this nice, just warm heat will really infuse all that lime flavour into our dressing. The last thing I need to add is just a splash of water to balance it out because we've got a lot of fish sauce in there, a lot of sugar. The water's just going to help balance it out. And you'll find in a lot of Thai dressings, just that little bit of water to help balance everything works really well. And all we're going to do now, just find a little hot spot on your barbecue and sit it there. If you're cooking this on your stove, a low to medium heat, sort of 3 to 5 on your heat scale. Just leave it to the side to bubble away slowly and let all those flavors infuse into that dressing, because when we come back in 10-15 minutes, that will be absolute flavor country. And now it's time for our fish. Now I've got some beautiful ocean farmed barramundi here. You can get this in your fish section at Coles. It is grown up in Broome or just outside of Broome in these beautiful ocean pens where the fish do loads of swimming because the current moves up and down all day, and that transfers into lots of fat through the flesh of the fish and really rich fatty meat. Also beautiful crispy skin. So what we're going to do to get this skin super crispy on our barbecue is just drizzle a little bit of our olive oil onto it and then just rub it so we make sure we've got olive oil over all of our skin. We don't want too much that's going to drip in and start a flare up on our barbecue, but we want enough that it won't stick to our grill. And then I'm just going to really quickly oil our grill as well. So tea towel or a bit of kitchen towel or a Chutz cloth, a little bit of oil, and then you just want to brush it over the hottest part of your grill where you're going to put your fish. And you want to be putting your fish onto the hottest part of your grill, skin side down. And that's what we're looking for, a really nice sizzling sound when we add our fish to our grill. That's perfect. I'm just going to rejig this one a little bit because I want to hear lots and lots of sizzle, just like that. And now we're going to cook our fish, I would say 75 to 80% on the skin side. Turn it just for the last little bit. We just want to make sure we give it a little press every now and then. You can press it with your tongs as well, just so that skin is in contact with the grill. While we do that, we might chuck a little bit of broccolini on as well. I've just got some broccolini to go with our fish here. And this just needs a little drizzle of olive oil, like the fish. And we can just find spots around the fish to cook this. All I'm looking for with my broccolini is a little char, and it's kind of cool because it'll tell you when it's ready. The color will go a little bit deeper and a little bit darker, more heavy green, and that's when I know it's ready. So I think our fish is going to take about 6 minutes on the skin side. Our broccoli will take about half that. By the time that's all done, we're going to need to finish off our little dressing. We're going to come back and I'm going to show you how to finish off this wonderful FODMAP friendly barramundi with that beautiful lemongrass sweet and sour sauce. Our fish has been cooking for 5 minutes and it's looking amazing. You can see here up the side of the fish, it's changing color. For me, that's a great indicator that our fish is ready to turn. I love cooking seafood because it always tells you when it's ready to turn by changing color. All I'm going to do is just give it a tiny drizzle of our olive oil, and then just be careful of any flare-ups. Just pat it on there, and then we want to turn our barramundi over, making sure we pick it up by the skin so our skin is nice and crispy. And have a look at this beautiful crackled skin. Same with this one. You want to kind of scoop it and just turn it. And you see our skin hasn't stuck, it's crackled up, beautiful and crispy. That's because we did that step of making sure we put oil onto the fish, had a really hot grill, and also oiled the grill. That fish is going to take another 2 minutes to finish off. Our broccolini is done, so we can put that to the cool part of the barbecue. Now let's finish off this little dressing. So it's warmed through, all the flavor has infused into the fish sauce and the water. So now we need to add a couple of limes to get a bit of that bright, fresh, zingy sourness to our dressing. Whenever I'm using a lime, I make sure I give it a good roll, just to break up the segments. Then when you cut into it, it should give you loads and loads of juice. And that looks, looks really good. And one more. Now, for me, Thai cooking is all about that balance of flavor. The spicy, the salty, the sour, and the sweet. And the only way to tell if this flavor is balanced is to give it a try. So we'll mix it together with a clean spoon, always a clean spoon, and it's hot. So we'll give our dressing a try, and that's really nicely balanced, but I reckon it needs a little bit more zing. You've got the sweet, you've got those really nice lime flavors and that lovely lemongrass, and we can go in with all of it. And by the time we've finished our dressing, our fish is also ready. So I've got a nice little bowl to serve my fish in. Because this dressing is so loose, it's almost like a little broth you can pour around your fish. I like to serve it in a bowl. And all I'll do to finish this off, a couple of beautiful bits of that char grilled broccolini. You can see what I mean about the color getting a bit darker and more vibrant. That's looking perfect. And that's a kind of little raft to put our fish on. And then our barramundi can come and sit on top, and have a look at that beautiful crispy skin. You can hear it there. It's going to be so lovely and smoky from that beautiful charcoal. Now to finish it off, you just want to just pour your sauce kind of over the side of your fish and have a few little bits of the kaffir lime and the lemongrass in there. You don't want too much on the skin because you want to get that nice and crispy. You're going to have your nice little sweet and sour sauce on the bottom. Then a little garnish of Vietnamese mint in their herb section, and I love the flavor of it. It's really pungent, slightly spicy almost, and it will go perfectly with the sweet and sour dressing. So we're going to put a little bit of Vietnamese mint over the top. You could also chuck coriander on there, and even some little puffy fried curry leaves would work really well on top of this as well. But have a look at that. I mean, pretty as a picture. Beautiful little dish. Let's do a little cheek of a lime just in the side of our dish, because a little bit more lime to zing on top will be perfect. But there you have my dish of barbecued barramundi, that beautiful crispy skin, the sweet and sour lemongrass dressing, FODMAP friendly, so you can enjoy it without any worries. And there you have it, my crispy skinned barbecued barramundi with that beautiful sweet and sour lemongrass dressing, FODMAP friendly, so you can give it a go. For this recipe and loads of other amazing recipe and info, make sure you follow the Free From An Allergy Facebook page. Guys, I've got some eating to do and you've got some cooking. Fire out those barbecues and have an amazing summer.